I have arrived in Solstheim, but the trail is cold. I know Cimmerian is here, I can sense him. I'm unsure what it is exactly, but things seem darker in his wake. I'll have to ask questions here. I don't like it. It's a level of exposure that's dangerous. After so much time has passed, however, I'm fortunate to still be this close. I have surprise on my side, but I have no knowledge of the terrain. There's much work ahead trying to track him and select a suitable location for my attack at the same time. I'll start at the local tavern. That's always the best place to ask questions and see where it leads.
Sister has arrived. It's time to set the plan in motion. She immediately went to the retching niche, just as I suspected she would. Know thy enemy. Gildas will undoubtedly send her to the mines as planned, and I will take it from there.
The barkeep told me that Cimmerian was just here moments ago. Could I really be that lucky? He said that Cimmerian had been spending a lot of time in the mines the last few days, working on some kind of secret project, but if I hurried, I might be able to catch up with him. It's astonishing to think that I may have discovered him this quickly. Perhaps too astonishing. I must not let my guard down. My prey is more dangerous than anything I have hunted before. I am sure after all this time spent following him, I've created a cloak of mythology about him in my mind. None of it may be true, but the fact remains, he killed my sister.
Cressius, thank you again for your help. It's time for you to leave. This place is about to become very dangerous. Do not exit by the front door. You'll not like what you find there.
By the lower sections of the mine. I've never been able to get that far.
Thank you. I will. I could feel the heat of her eyes on my back. I'm certain she wished she could do it right there, but no, too public. Better to follow me into the mines, where the deed could be done out of the public eye, and the body concealed for centuries. My plan is delicate and will require a great deal of finesse to execute, but if I succeed, I will be free, and that is what I need more than anything, freedom to act unhindered. I have taken steps to further my disguise as this situation remains fluid, and I have no idea how this will end. Allowing my beard to grow, and changing the arrangement of the mop on top of my head will help a bit. I've also found that spider venom makes an excellent hair dye in a pinch. Sith is willing, this will all be over by morning. I must not underestimate her. Dropping down the mine shaft will give me the lead I require and force her to deal with the creatures up the shaft. I'll have my own roadblocks to overcome. I only hope this small lead is enough. I will know the right ambush spot when I see it. The game begins now.
Welcome, dear viewers, to CouchWarrior TV on YouTube. I am the CouchWarrior, and you are watching Aranis Arcana, a Skyrim Let's Play. Welcome to Chapter 14, Part 1. We, of course, are in Raven Rock Mine, and we are attempting to lay a trap for our Bosmer assassin pursuer. And right now I am in it up to my neck. This guy. Finally, bow punching comes in handy. I got in about 3 bow punches there that sort of kept him at bay long enough for me to get more arrows in him. Seemed easier than going to the sword. So what is Fleet's plan exactly? Well, as he said in the intro portions of this video, it is somewhat fluid. He has not been down in the mine before. So this is a bit of a gambit for him. He's hoping that leading her down here, he will be able to discover a spot where he will have a tactical advantage and he can lie in wait. Now, he has not been down here before, obviously. He's facing a lot of enemies. But he has taken steps to try to ensure that she gets in here and that he also has a lead in the process. So let's kind of recap. She came into town, and he set his plan in motion. Having seen her arrive on the boat, that's one of the nice things about the spot that he's chosen, Raven Rock. There really is only one way to arrive from the mainland, and that is into the Raven Rock harbor by boat. And obviously, she's attempting to retrace his steps, so she would be kind of following the route that he took to Solstheim. So he observes her, and he enlists the help of the barkeep to kind of guide her toward the mine where we saw that scene where she observed him standing in front of the door, and she observed him entering, and thus she follows him in. So here we are. All right. I'm going to try to peck away at these guys. Sometimes they rush in a group. I think I'm hanging far enough back at this point that I have an advantage here. In this particular room, if you go too far into the center of the room, they will all converge at once. So you have to be kind of cautious. Unless that's the sort of battle you're looking for. So I'm kind of making my way around the perimeter here. Alright. We are going to try to get some distance between us and the Scourge. Here he comes. Alright. Whoa. There we go. Wow. Just in time. I'm not sure where this guy came from. Let's close the door. There we go. I believe that bought us a little time. That worked out pretty well. Here, let's conceal ourselves here in the dark. So I want to welcome you back, dear viewers. Thank you so much for all your kind comments on the last episode. I appreciate it very much. And welcome to all of those who have finally caught up with us. There were at least 4 or 5 people in the last week that I know have been watching these episodes from the prologue and working their way through. Welcome to all of you who finally made it to the most recent episodes. I myself have gone back and started reviewing random episodes from the past. Last night I took a look at Chapter 1, Part 4. I also watched Episode 40 all over again. I'm just trying to recapture a little bit, in my memory, kind of how and where we started, what the tone was when we started, and all these things sort of help me out. We are far enough along into the story here at episode 91 that from time to time I just have to go back and review and make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. Alright, so there is a Draugr that we didn't deal with, but that is okay. We're going to let him go because that means that his presence is only going to delay our pursuer further. So that works in our favor. We're going to let him linger. She can deal with him. Now you'll notice that I'm not doing a ton of looting here. That's because, for role-playing sake, we are in a hurry. We're trying to scout a good location for an ambush, and we're trying to maintain, if not extend, our lead to buy some time. So, unless I see something really good, like a soul gem, for example, I'm probably going to be bypassing a fair amount of loot here. That's not to say that I can't come back and get some of this stuff later, but right now, this is a role-playing Let's Play. And in this situation, we are definitely in a hurry. Now, this looks like some kind of magical trap. Just going to knock those soul gems down with arrows before the spells discharge. I think we're in the clear. We'll nab those. We are working on our enchanting skills. So common, petty, and lesser soul gems come in very handy for that. Okay, we got a room full here. And these look like guys with a bit more horsepower. We're talking about Death Lords and such. So let's see what we can do here. I don't know if I can hit this guy in the walk. Oh, close. Wow, he was fast. That was quite fast. Let's see if we can kind of guide them to where we need to go here. We are playing on Master. Master difficulty level. At this difficulty level, and at my current character level, the enemies are getting a bit smarter all the time. So I find that my distraction tactics, for example, do not work as well now as they did at lower levels. But that's a function of, I think, higher power enemies, smarter enemies we're facing. Alright, this guy's going up. I want to draw him up further. Get up there. Alright. Now, we put him where we want him. Here's one shot on him. Yeah, it's going to take another one. Here they come again. Come and get it. Wow. Alright, I think there's 2 left. Draw him off, draw him off. He's not falling for it. Okay. Let's get some distance here. Now I'm a little bit concerned because we know we have an assassin that's following us and we're wasting a lot of time with these 3 in here, but can't really be helped at this point. Let's walk them in. We're pecking away at them. I hope you all are well. I am fine. It is a lovely Sunday afternoon. Alright, that wall absorbed some shock there, which is good. Okay, he's going with a bow. So let's use our unrelenting force. Let's give him a taste. There we go. And we hit him before he could get his arrow off. And he's down, so let's keep pumping him full of arrows. There we go. We'll take those ebony arrows for sure. Okay. I'm going to make up a little ground here. Now we have the added disadvantage, right, that we've got enemies to deal with here. We've also got potentially puzzles that we might have to deal with. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've been in this mine, so... Okay, we got to get in here. I think we've got a switch over here. So Fleet is under some time pressure here, but generally he works pretty well under pressure. That seems to be his stock and trade, so hopefully we'll be okay. Now, as you may have gathered from the intro pieces, he's also taken some steps to try to disguise himself a little bit. He is actually growing out his hair and his beard, at least temporarily. He's taken some steps to actually dye his hair and try to change his appearance a little bit. I think his reasoning for these precautions will make more sense as we get further along. Okay, that looks like a trap. Let's deal with this pedestal. Okay. Now, how do we get out of here? maybe we don't. Maybe we passed where we need to go. Like right here. Here we go. Now, the other thing Fleet wants to do here is he really does want to force Miravel to take extra time to track him. She's being cautious. She still firmly believes she has the upper hand. She believes that she has surprise, but she also has acknowledged that she needs to be careful. So she will be taking a little extra time to carefully track him, make sure that she's not falling into a bad situation. That's what she's going to be trying to do. So that works in our favor a little bit in that she's going to be moving a bit slower. Will be slowed by opponents and so forth, but she'll be slowed by the time it takes to sort of track him and the extra caution that she needs to observe in order to make sure she doesn't drop into an ambush of some kind. Okay, let's go see what we got here. Ah, this is the main chamber. This looks like our ambush spot right here. This ought to do the trick nicely. Now, I have started this quest line, so I do have the letter from Cressius regarding his father and some of the past history of this mine, and that should give us a tactical advantage. This place is a nightmare. There are so many places to hide. If he knows I'm here, this could be a death trap for me. I am committed at this point. I must allow my senses and instinct to guide me. The hair on my neck stands on end, knowing he is here somewhere lurking inside this vile mine. I was able to track footprints in the dust, but they simply ended. It's as if he fell down the mine shaft. Could I be that lucky? Certainly not. The shaft branches off in multiple directions as I descend, and these passages are filled with vermin. This mine obviously fell out of use long ago. What is he doing down here? What kind of secret project would bring him to a place of darkness like this? I was able to pick up his trail again at the bottom of the mine shaft. The traces do not lie. He did actually jump down the mine shaft. However, more frightening was the carnage I found in the depths of the mine. How did he kill so many, and so quickly? The further I descend, the worse this decision appears to be. We're back, dear viewers, and this time we are looking through the eyes of another. More specifically, a Bosmer assassin. The remaining sister in the pair that was pursuing Fleet. Now for her, this is a slightly different experience, right? She, of course, doesn't know this place. She doesn't know what the plan is. She doesn't know what's ahead. And she's also in a position of having to make sure she doesn't miss anything, so she has to search every corner and hallway in an effort to make sure that she doesn't pass him or doesn't get flanked. So she is in a very unenviable position. And probably fairly tense about the whole situation. Now, of course, she's also being slowed by all the vermin that were left to her by Fleet. That Fleet bypassed. So far, that seemingly simple act of feather falling down the mine shaft allowed him to bypass 3 or 4 spiders and a skeever, all of which she had to deal with. So that is slowing her down and buying him time. So you can kind of start to see how his strategy is coming together here. He, of course, is in a position of having to try to locate a spot to ambush her on the fly without having been all the way to the bottom of this mine before. So he needs as much time as he can get to figure it out. So, since we're looking through the Bosmer's eyes, the Huntress, at this point, let's talk a little bit about her armor. Something that has been discussed briefly, I think, in the comment threads before. This comes from a mod called the Bosmer Armor Package, and that armor package actually comes with, I think, 4 different flavors of armor. There's a standard Bosmer armor. There's a version, kind of a fancier version, I think, is called the Elder version. And then what we're looking at right now is the Wild Hunt version. There are 2 flavors of Wild Hunt. There's a heavier and a lighter version. She's currently equipped with a heavier version of the armor. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Bosmer, I encourage you to do a little reading on them. They're very interesting culturally. They're very, very different than a lot of the other races of Tamriel. Startlingly different in many ways. They believe the trees of Valenwood are sacred, so they do not cut the trees. In fact, it's a terrible crime to do so. It also means that they do not generally eat plant life. They will eat plant life, but not in the Valenwood area. So anything they use to build their homes or for food source is imported from other places. So pretty much, all the plant life growing in the Valenwood area is considered sacred and off limits when it comes to consumption for either building or food or anything like that. So they tend to be primarily carnivores, have even been known to eat their enemies and to wear the bones of their enemies. And the Wild Hunt is an interesting thing too. I've done a limited amount of research on the Wild Hunt, and I've seen some kind of different things regarding that, but the description that I've seen on the wikis it basically says that in times of dire need, the Bosmer people can go on Wild Hunt, and the Wild Hunt is described as an event where the Bosmer of a particular tribe or a group, whoever is going on the Wild Hunt, are transformed into these kind of savage beasts. It doesn't really say exactly what those beasts are or what they look like, but that they're transformed into these savage beasts, and they basically go on a rampage, killing everything in their path, destroying all their enemies, and when all the enemies are dead, the Wild Hunt pack turns on itself, and they all kill one another until there's one left. Now, who knows how much of this is actual reality and how much is myth and legend? But that's kind of how it's described. So I think that's probably why this particular set of armor features bones and skulls pretty prominently, because the Bosmer are known to make armor out of the bones or pieces of their enemies, carrying those things almost as mementos or badges of honor, if you will. Now she's being careful to search every crack and crevice of this place. Again, she is kind of running on instinct. She doesn't know where she's going. All she knows is that he's hiding down here somewhere and may or may not know that she's pursuing. So her greatest fear is the possibility of being flanked by him, because she knows very well what he's capable of by this point. She's been following him for quite some time. For the purposes of this story, I just thought it would be interesting to kind of see this cat and mouse game from her perspective a little bit and note the ways in which she would approach the corridors of the mine and the barrow differently than Fleet. Fleet being the one who's in the driver's seat at this point and is kind of setting the stage for their confrontation. However, she is not aware of that yet. It's interesting playing in this way as well, just as a big fan of Skyrim and someone who loves to play the game. Playing various levels from different perspectives. It's one thing to go through a level and play as a different character type or something, but I find that when I'm really consumed with crafting a story like this, it's interesting to actually go through the levels, because your approach to the levels can be very, very different based on the demands of roleplay. So I have to approach this barrow with a completely different perspective, knowing that she is in the dark, unfamiliar with where she is, nervous about where he is, and thinking about all the psychological factors that would play into how she approaches the challenge that this environment presents for her. So
Miravel, I assure you there is no way out of that hole you are in. It is good to lay eyes upon you at last.
You are Cimmerian. What do you want?
Yes, I am Cimmerian. I am also a great admirer of you and your work. I wish to speak to you.
Speak with me. Why should I believe you would simply want to speak to me? I assume you mean to kill me.
Why would I go to all of this trouble if killing you was my intent? I merely wish to have a conversation. One assassin to another. I guess that these minds would afford me the level of privacy we require, and they did not disappoint.
You'll have to excuse me if I'm not interested in conversation.
Yes, that is an excellent point. Perhaps we should have a duel of archers. I assume you are a better shot than your sister was.
You killed my sister.
Certainly you are right. It was my blade that separated her head from her shoulders, but it was not I that truly killed her.
That makes no sense. You speak in riddles.
Your sister was the impulsive one. She was the impatient one, the hammer to your dagger. Am I right? Nothing to say? Well, let me continue. You are the one who understands the art, the tracker. You followed me for days, and yet you never attacked me. Why is that? Very well, I will tell you why. You were weighing the threat. How dangerous is the Cimmerian? He evades and defeats the Thalmor. They do not seem to even know who he is. You are a thoughtful person, aren't you, Miravel?
A warrior who wishes to stay alive does not rush into battle without first understanding the enemy. This is the way of it.
Of course. This is the correct course of action. The rash warrior is the first to die, but the dispassionate thinker, the tactician survives to fight another day through guile and clever strategy that plays to his strengths. This truly is the way of it. This was not your sister's way, was it?
What are you getting at? I grow tired of this game.
You knew where I was. You tracked me, and you knew how to find me, and yet you sent your sister far to the east. Why did you do this, Miravel? I believe you did this because you knew that your sister, the blunt instrument, would force a conflict before you were ready. I have the right of it, and you know this to be true. So, how do you suppose your sister found me? You were in the east, looking for her, and all the while, she was coming west to confront me. How could this have happened?
I cannot explain it.
I can. The Thalmor told her where I was based on your information. You follow the target and report back to the Thalmor, do you not?
Yes?
Miravel, what did you think they would do? Allow you to continue tracking me forever? The Thalmor love their power and they seek to take it as often and as quickly as they can. They do not approve of slow, methodical methods. They subscribe to doctrines of brute force, and if you are not willing to strike, they were more than happy to enlist your sister to do it. I understand She's more amenable to this type of operation than you.
How can you possibly know this?
A Thalmor soldier told me this as I skinned him alive. I too am a huntsman by nature. The Thalmor are not like you and I. They believe in might as a path to power. So the question is, who really killed your sister? She fought with honor. She died with a blade in her hand, and I cut her down quickly and mercifully. But it was your employer who sent her to the slaughter, not I.
I don't understand any of this.
The Thalmor take what they want. You should know this better than anyone. What has become of your beloved Valorwood? How many sacred trees have they burned? This is who you work for. Why do you do this?
I have not betrayed my people. I had to do this.
You had to do this? Ah, yes. You had to do this so that you would get your precious septums.
No. I did not do this for money. My sister was in trouble. We needed to get out of Valenwood, and this was the only way. I agreed to help them, and in return, they agreed to destroy our writ of execution and return the deed to our family grove. My family was destroyed in a war with the Aldmeri Dominion, and you stand there and mock me.
Your family was not destroyed by the war. You are the last of your family because of the Thalmor. Miravel, I do not mock you. I offer you a way out. Let us speak face to face. I show you my face as a gesture of trust.
What could you possibly have that I would want?
How about vengeance? How about the writ? How about the deed to your family grove and your self-respect? Surely these are all things you value.
It is not a negotiation when you offer things you cannot possibly give.
But I can offer these things. The writ and the deed you seek will be in the Thalmor embassy, go down to the hands of Eleanor herself. I have plans for Eleanor, and I will get your documents in the bargain.
So you will just walk into the Thalmor embassy and get me what I need? Arrogance is not flattering.
That is exactly what I will do, and you know why I speak the truth. While you were following tracks through the forest, I was infiltrating the deepest of Lemmer ruins, sacking barrows thought to be impenetrable, and slipping in and out of the palaces of Markarth unseen. But you already know this, don't you? You know who I am. Listener, Nightingale, Dragonborn, Cimmerian. Yes, your sister was cut down by my blade, but she was put in that place at that disadvantage by the Thalmor. They knew she would act while you would wait, and they chose to sully that relationship. They took advantage of your sister's weakness, and now she is dead. She attacked me with no understanding of who she faced. Sword to sword, she fought with honor, and she lost. That is where the story ends. For her. But not for you. I should kill you now. But you won't. Because you are smart enough to know who the real enemy is. Let me ask. Did you kill Nefei?
Who is Nefei?
Come now. You know exactly who Nefei is. You've been following me for weeks. The only way you could have tracked me to Solstheim is through Nefei. I left you all the clues you needed, and now you are here. You know who she is.
Was this some kind of test?
Not a test, but an affirmation. I needed to confirm what I already thought to be true. Is Mirabelle after mere vengeance, or real justice? I offered you Nefeh as payment for the death of your sister. She was no doubt incapacitated. Did you cut her throat or let her live?
Nefeh lives, but many in her network do not. Is that vengeance?
No. That is the cost of doing business. You did not kill Nefeh because she is not the enemy. Until your sister's death, you were planning to kill me. Why did you not strike? There must have been many times when you could have. The Thalmor are your enemy, an enemy we share.
What do you get out of all of this?
I die.
I don't understand.
The Thalmor want me dead. They believe that all of their problems will go away once the deed is done. I want you to do it. I want Mirabelle, the Bosmer Huntress, to kill you. Preferably in a very public way.
You're insane.
Am I? I want you to help me engineer my own death. I need the Thalmor to believe me dead. Killed by their hired assassins. They will let their guard down, and then I will execute the last stages of my campaign against them from the grave. Help me stage my death, and I will help you get your writ and your deed.
I do not wish to be another one of your underlings.
You are no less than perfect in your craft, Mirabelle. You could be no one's underling. You and I are equals, cut from the same cloth.
I doubt that very much. How can I possibly trust the man who killed my sister?
I killed the enemy. Nothing more, nothing less. In time, I believe you will come to see the world as I do. If at any time you feel I have broken your trust, you may slip that elven short blade between my ribs, and I will have deserved it for disappointing you.
Partners?
Yes.
Very well. I will do it, but if you break your agreement with me, there will be no place for you to hide.
I have no doubt that hiding from you would be an impossibility.
I suggest we begin by you helping me out of this pit.
It is done. We should not be seen leaving the island together. I have a few things to complete before I can return to Skyrim. I will meet you there.
Where will we meet?
There is an old fort, east of Dragonbridge.
Yes. Fort Snowhawk, I know it.
Meet me there in 2 days.
Very well, 2 days it is.
And Mirabelle, as your partner, I would respectfully suggest that between now and then, you find some less conspicuous attire.
I had heard it said that you were controlling. The stories do not disappoint. We are back, brothers and sisters. And we are literally in the heart of darkness here. There's only one way out, and it's through that door. We need to figure out how it works. And I think the clues are going to lie here in this journal. We've also got this fancy sword. We're going to take that. And we needed to review the contents of this journal to see if it leads us to a solution to opening this door. Where is that? Okay, we've got the letter. Let's look at the letter first. I would appreciate it if you could come help us with a situation we've encountered in Raven Rock. It seems that the miners there have stumbled across some sort of ruins under the surface near Shaft 3, and we need your expertise to take a look. I could send someone else if you're busy, but I figured you'd want to go since I seem to recall that you're originally from Solstheim. Let us know if you make any progress. Rendelius Tendarian, East Empire Company, Imperial City, Cyrodiil. And then we've got this journal. 30 Rain's Hand, 4th Era 10. Received a letter from the East Empire Company today. They say that some of the miners broke through a wall in Shaft 3 of Raven Rock Mine and found some ruins. I hope this isn't another waste of time like that fiasco they sent me to in Cyrodiil. I'll gather my assistant Milius and sail back to Raven Rock at first light. It'll be nice to see the old house in Solstheim again. Remember, Gratian is the father, or I think it's the father or grandfather of Cressius. Finally arrived in Raven Rock and was surprised at the number of Dark Elf refugees living in town. They aren't really from mining stock, but I think they'll make fine workers one day. Milius and I spent a good part of the day clearing the ash off the roof of my house. The damn volcano is still erupting almost day and night. If it wasn't for the ash covering everything, it would almost look beautiful. Milius and I are headed... let's see... Okay, going to the Scoop and Pick to get some supplies. Looks like the miners broke right through the wall of an old Nordic barrow. I've seen this sort of thing in Skyrim before. Damn Nords have barrows dotting the landscape, and almost none of them are ever marked on any maps. Looks like this barrow belongs to something called the Bloodskull clan. I'm going to take some rubbings of the inscriptions on the tombs, see if I can learn some more information from my history books. It's been a few days, and I can't find even a single mention of this clan anywhere. Milius and I decided to proceed ahead. We've come to a drop-down point, but I can see a massive chamber below. Took the better part of the day to lower everything down and climb down the almost sheer drop. It's been an astonishing day of discovery. After exploring the large chamber beyond the drop-off, I was startled to find the strangest weapon I've ever laid eyes upon sitting on a pedestal of sorts. The blade appears to be flawless and is emitting a faint, chilling glow. Bits of parchment I found around the chamber seem to call this the Bloodskull Blade. Not certain if I should remove it yet. I think I'll sleep on it. I have decided, against my own better judgment, to remove the Bloodskull Blade from its pedestal. Milius seems completely against it, but we need to bring this wondrous artifact with us when we find a way out of the barrow. I should have listened to Milius. The moment the blade was lifted, we were set upon by Draugr. Milius fought bravely, but he fell. I was able to destroy the remaining ones, but I was badly wounded and can barely stand. My only chance would be finding a way out of this place, but I fear that I'm trapped. Exploring has been slow. I can only move for maybe a few minutes at a time before having to rest. My supplies are running low, and I'm feeling weaker by the hour. The only progress I've made is finding a strange door with markings on it. That must be the huge door in this chamber. It appears to be something to them I'm missing, as they've confounded my attempts to get through. I have to study this further in order to make any progress. Barely can keep awake. I'm fairly certain that the key to the door involves the sword. So you can see the drawings and the markings. Use of the Bloodskull Blade. When swinging the weapon, I'm noticing a ribbon of mystical energy emanating from it. I think by swinging the sword in different directions, it's possible to manipulate this ribbon and solve whatever puzzle this door presents. I hope to get well enough to put this into the test, or to put this to the test. Each swing is a huge effort. Last entry. I've lost track of time. My strength is fading. I can't even stand anymore. My wounds refuse to heal. I'm afraid this tomb will become my resting place. If anyone finds this journal, please send these notes to my superiors at East Empire Company and tell my wife that I love her. May Arcane guide me to my final rest. Okay. So the secret to unlocking the door lies in the blade itself. Before we attempt that, let's look around. See if there's a way out down here. This looks collapsed, but we have a chest, so we'll take a look in there at least. Ooh. Black soul gem. We can use that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay, so it seems we're going to do some experimentation with this blade. We can take the potion. Nothing wrong with that. Let's do it. So what I've determined is that we need to do power attacks, and we need to do variations in our power attacks so that the orientation of the energy fits the lines that we are trying to hit here. So a straight up power attack is a vertical line, a side power attack is a horizontal line. So let's give ourselves a little room here and then go left. Power attack on the run. Ugh. There we go. One more. Ugh. Okay, now one down the middle. Here we go. Bam. Okay. Unlocked. Little awkward for Fleet to be swinging a two-handed sword. He looked like a badass, though. Okay, these traps suck. I took a little nick there. But they're never in sync, so you only have a split second to get through, and I find the stealth roll works wonders. We'll do a little slow time. See if we can get through more than one. Come on, come on. There we go. Okay, almost there. It's just a timing issue. The added bonus of using the slow time shout is that it also lights up the room, so I could see much more clearly where the blades were swinging and any obstacles, as well as slowing the blades down so I could squeak through. So we're going to do this one the old-fashioned way and just time it. Or maybe not. Yeah, this is ugly. Come on now. Look at these. These are really spaced out bad. Oh my god. Ugh. Oh, this is an easy one. There we go. We did it. And of course they stop now. I suppose the lever did it, huh? Alright. Feeling a boss battle coming on. So we are going to do our dual cast here of both Muffle and Blur. If you remember, the Blur is a illusion spell that is part of the Apocalypse spell package. Makes us a little bit more difficult to hit when it's in force. And that is one I love to use because it lasts a long time. Okay. Got another chamber over to the left. This seems like a trap. Oh yes. Ooh, look at that. Okay, we're going to use some potions here. We need to put this guy down in a hurry. So let's see. Let's look through our poison collection. Alright. We could weaken him, we could slow him, we could damage him. I think the best I can do is here at the bottom I've got a virulent poison. That's an extra 50 points of damage. We'll use that. And let's search for marksman. We're going to apply a marksman potion. That's another 48% on top of what we already do. And we are going to try to shoot over his head and draw him away. Get as much distance between us and him as possible. Get him way down there. Keep going. Now, that way, if he comes back, he's got a longer way to go to get to us. Here we go. There's one. And done. And those potions made all the difference there. All the difference in the world. Without those potions, we probably would have fired at least a couple more arrows to take him down. And that is not a battle I want to extend. Never want to extend a battle with a Dragon Priest. Now, the added benefit here, of course, is that we put him out here on the rock so we don't have to go swimming to get the loot. Here we've got some gold, and this mask increased shock resistance by 50% and spell shock damage by 25%. That doesn't do us a whole lot of good, but it sure looks cool. And a dragon shout. And this is going to be one word for the dragon aspect shout, which gives us some kind of ethereal armor. Again, there's 3 words for that shout, making your armor more powerful and longer lasting for every word you get. This is our first one. We haven't really unlocked many words at this point. We kind of need to get cracking on that, but that would sort of require that we fight some dragons. And dragons never seem to be on our priority list. Let's see if there's anything decent in here, if this really was just a red herring. Ugh, total red herring. 2 gold. That is a big chest for 2 gold. Okay, well, we've got another chamber over here we can explore. Let's go check it out. Well, brothers and sisters of darkness, this brings us to the end of another episode. I want to thank you for taking the journey with me. I really do appreciate your viewership. It inspires me to keep going with this. These episodes are a lot of work, but also very rewarding and a lot of fun, and I appreciate all your kind comments and input. May all that you do be quick, silent, and deadly, and to all Skyrim assassins, I salute you. Silence is our battle cry.